You were in the DOJ's National Security Division when the China initiative was dissolved in 2022. And
Yes, sir.
I think you indicated that you were not involved in the decision to terminate the initiative, but you likely participated in discussions explaining the rationale for the decision. What was the rationale?
The rationale was that essentially the problems that China posed were not unique to China. They were the malign activities that China engages in are also engaged in by Iran, Russia, in terms of the theft of technology, the malicious cyber activity, the transnational repression. Those are all activities that a number of nation states engage in. And so rather than have something focused only on China, we wanted to broaden the focus to a number of different countries, but it was intended in no way to signal a lack of resolve towards continuing to pursue investigations of malicious Chinese activity. And I think if you look at the FBI and DOJ's record since that time, they've continued to pursue bad actors in China with the same zeal.
So the rationale was that all the things that China does that are a threat to national interest and national security of the United States are also activities undertaken by other adversaries?
That's right.
And therefore, we should just have a big bucket that doesn't distinguish by country, but by activity.
That's right. We generally speaking, we haven't most often had programs focused only on specific countries.
Do you recall in those conversations, and you don't have to tell us who it was, anybody mentioning that the scope of Chinese efforts on multiple fronts dwarfs that of any other actor? For example, the commercial espionage conducted by the Chinese has no precedent among any other nation-state power.
I don't disagree with that. I think China's the #1 CI threat, absolutely.
And certainly their ability to use supposedly private companies to sort of act as cutouts for the government of China, be they running a port or provide telecommunication services. I mean, there is no Russian Huawei. There is no Iranian ZTE. Do you recall anybody making those points in that discussion, that the Chinese threat is quite unique in both its scale and reach?
I don't remember that. I mean, I do know that, for example, Russia, we have had a number of cases. There's the new task force set up since the China initiative name was changed about disruptive technology theft, and certainly there have been a lot of cases of Russia stealing technology military technology to advance its efforts in Ukraine. So I think there is some of other countries, but I don't disagree with you that China's #1.
All right. The other question I had is you've been on detail to the General Counsel's office to ODNI since April, right? And you're also nominated to be to this position on the 18th. So when did you start the detail position?
April 1st.
Okay. And what have, I assume when you went over, you had some inkling that you would be nominated to this post, so it almost sounds like some
Yes,
transitionary phase. What, and would you, and I think just reading your biography, but I just want to hear from you, it would be accurate to characterize all of your prior positions in government, including in the Department of Justice, as career positions rather than political positions?
That's right.
Okay. So your current title in detail as senior advisor in the Office of the General Counsel. So what exactly, not a trick question or a hostile one, I'm just curious, what exactly does the senior advisor, will you have a replacement? Will a new?
No, this is just there's not much in the title. Excuse me. Sorry.
That was behind you there.
Oh, okay, great. There's not much to that title. I'm just doing essentially special projects as assigned by the General Counsel and the DNI on.
Are there any of those?
issues.
Just give us a general understanding of what.
What kind of things I'm doing. Yeah. So, for example, as Senator Warner referred to, you all just gave us the 702 reauthorization. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to implement that, including some of the kind of new operational authorities that we have. That's one of the projects that I'm working on. Another is the DNI has an initiative focused on kind of harmonizing the pre-publication review process, if you know what that is. The process whereby former government officials have to come in, and if they're going to write an article or give a speech or whatever, they have to have it reviewed for classification, and the different agencies have different standards and so forth, and so there's an effort to come up with a new directive to govern that. So those are examples of the types of things that I've been working on.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Senator White. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Mr. Wiegmann, I enjoy